Hi, it's Megan. Last year I did not get the Nest collection of fragrances and Last year I did not get the Nest collection of fragrances. This year I wanted to. So I have a love-hate thing with Nest fragrances. At first I felt like they were a little watery for me, and I don't mean watery in a bad way. I mean watery in like, they almost had this like water accord to them, or this lighter kind of feel that didn't always suit my mood. But then the more I kept getting samples and the more I kept wearing them, the more I kind of kept getting addicted, which is why I didn't get them last year. But then this year I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just not gonna let it pass when Sephora has their friends and family sale. So let me tell you about this year's set. And I didn't get last year's set, so I don't know how many dupes there are, but I do really like this. I'm having a hard time reopening it. Sometimes I'm not the slickest. Okay, so the first one, it's $38. The first one is Midnight Floor. You also have Dahlia and Vines, White Sandalwood, Indigo, Paradise. So according to the Nest description, it's $38. And they're all 0.25 ounce each. So full-size Nest Parfum costs $65 for 0.17 ounce. This is $38 for 0.25 ounce, so it's a little bit cheaper per ounce. And according to Nest, they also say a set of 5 classic fragrances inspired by the work of 18th century British artist Mrs. Mary Delaney, and that would be the flowers. And it says Laura Slatkin collaborated with master perfumers to translate the work of art into luxurious fragrances that capture the essence of each of the botanicals that adorn the product's striking packages. Okay, so call me a romantic, but I'm a sucker for that story. So Midnight Floor, and I'm just not going to be slick. I'm trying to do a whole bunch of stuff today. They say it features exotic wood, patchouli, and black amber blended with central notes of night blooming jasmine and vanilla orchid. This one really warms up on me. This one I can really smell the jasmine and the amber and the patchouli. It's just a really, and vanilla, all of it. It's just a really warm, exotic, but yet feminine. So this does not have any of, I've been so into those like heavy, deep, oud-based things, and I guess that's why some of these like lighter versions, more feminine versions, turned me off for a while. But this to me is just a very sensual, but feminine sort of a scent. It has just enough deep notes that it doesn't have that kind of girly vibe, which is fine if you want a girly vibe, but when they say Midnight Floor, it kind of shouldn't be too girly. It should have a little bit of an edge to it. And it has a very soft edge. The next one, okay, so I'm a sucker for daffodils. My dad's Welsh, and daffodils are like the national flower. So I've always been a sucker for daffodils. And so Dahlia and Vines has dewy daffodils, peony, and rose with the essence of garden vines. This is one of those scents that kind of strikes my inner girl. I don't know what they mean by garden vines. That's why I keep sniffing it. I guess the garden vines means it's got a little green undertone to it. You know, that grassy, greeny thing. But it's super soft. And so what it ends up coming out as is just a really, it's like a wildflower bouquet. It's very floral, but not predictably floral. Not something your grandmother necessarily wore, although my grandmother wore really nice things, but something that you kind of wish that she wore and it passed on. White Sandalwood. This is the one I've actually been wearing the most lately. They say it's blended with creamy almond, white musk, and exotic spices for a scent that's truly unique. And this to me smells like something I want to eat. I really, the almond and the vanilla add kind of that warmth that, you know how vanillas and almonds always have all those kind of memories that waft in, because they do remind you of cooking. So it's almost like a comforting, nurturing, you know, homey holiday kind of scent, but then it throws in that musk, which gives it a little bit of an edge, and some spices too. So it's got the warmth and the spices both. I don't know. I wonder if anyone has this. This seems to me like they always say that people are attracted to people who wear vanilla scents, especially men. I wonder if anyone's been wearing this a lot. Let me know. Have you gotten a really positive sense of like men coming to you and wear it? I'm going to start wearing it and see what happens. I mean, I've been wearing it a lot, but I'm going to start paying attention to that, because it seems like all those surveys you read of like what men are attracted to or what women are attracted to, the vanilla and all that, this seems like just a mommy fragrance but a sexy mommy fragrance with that edge. Okay, indigo. It said indigo transitions well from day to evening with notes of Moroccan tea, cashmere wood, and black cardamom, enhanced with hints of wild fig and bergamot. And okay, so again, put yourself in my shoes. I've been wearing all these super heavy, exotic, leathery, oud-based scents. So this has the wood, the cardamom, all that kind of stuff. And then I personally really like fig and bergamot. So the way it all works together: tea, wood, cardamom, fig, and bergamot. This is almost a unisex. No, this is a unisex fragrance, but it's maybe slightly too feminine for some men. What this does is it takes a lot of those concepts. So instead of leather, you've got tea. Tea is a little bit lighter, but yet it also has kind of that astringent bit to it. Wood, I always like. It adds depth, richness, warmth. Cardamom adds that spice, that little like kick. Cardamon's a great spice in a scent. It does have that, just that real kick to it. And then fig and bergamot give it a little bit more of a masculine scent. One of my favorite fig scents is the Marc Jacobs male fragrance, the original one. And this reminds me of that with some tea, some lightness, and some spice, and not as heavy. This is a great scent. So again, to the Nest fragrances, they're taking elements that other fragrance companies turn into these heavy, not overbearing, I love those scents, turn into heavier, deeper, duskier scents, and they're adding a certain lightness to it, which for some is going to be a lot more wearable, and then also maybe a little bit more feminine. Paradise. Paradise perfectly captures the luscious burst of fresh Mediterranean blood orange balanced with watery nuances, a hint of white ginger, and a lingering base of cedarwood. For some reason, I have never liked orange fragrances, but now I'm obsessed with them. So, I probably would have only somewhat liked this fragrance 6 months ago. Now I'm starting to get obsessed with it. So it's blood orange, but it's kind of a bitter orange, as opposed to like a bitter strong, you know, blood oranges have that bitter, stronger scent, a little bit of an edge to it, not quite as sweet and soft as a regular orange. I still don't understand what watery nuances mean. I think that just means something different with every perfume company, but that adds kind of a, almost a bergamot to me, honestly, but that's just me. There's my degree. The ginger adds a little bit, again, a kick, a little bit of an edge. I like ginger, but I think in this one it's muted. It's not, I smell it, but I do almost smell like a bergamot more than a ginger personally. And then the cedar wood, so there's different woods, right? There's oud, there's cashmere wood, which was in the indigo. There's all these different woods. And a cedar wood is going to add, again, a little bit kind of an astringent, what's the word I'm looking for? Not antiseptic, like a sage kind of a thing. It's got that little eucalyptus, I don't have the exact word for it, but I think you get what I mean, almost astringent, but softened. Cedar is deeper and richer than like a eucalyptus, but it still has a slight astringency to it. So this is a really interesting scent. Think about that, mixing the bitter orange with kind of a deep, rich wood that's almost a little astringent. It's got a real edge. The ginger, the cedar, all that. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'm still getting up to speed on perfume reviews because you could say 1,000,001 things and then you wear them for a couple of hours and they smell slightly different. These last about 7 hours on me. They're not the longest wearing, they're not the shortest wearing, and they're pretty consistent across brand on me. But what I do like about them is that they add these elements that typically add heaviness to a scent, but these are a little bit more feminine, a little bit more kind of everyday wearable. So this is the thing, and I really like this collection. I'm so glad I got it. Please subscribe on YouTube, and then I have a new book, Escape, which is a terrorist novel, which is on Amazon if you're interested. That's it. Thanks. And by the way, if you have these or different ones of the Nest fragrance, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments and whether I got these down right or not. They do deepen and richen as you put them on. It gives for about 20 minutes, but I find that on me they stay pretty true to the way that they smell in the bottle. Thanks.